Cameron Myers just broke a barrier that had never been touched on Australian soil. Not by any Australian, the greatest middle distance runner who ever lived. The 3:30 barrier in the 1500 meters stood untouched for decades. On April 10th, 2026, Myers ran 3:29.85 and destroyed it. He is 19 years old. Let's start with the number that matters, 3:29.85. That is the time Cameron Myers ran at the 2026 Australian Athletics Championships in Sydney. It is the fastest 1500-meter run by anyone in the world this year. It is the first time in history any athlete has broken 3:30 on Australian soil. And it is the second fastest time Myers himself has ever run. Oliver Hoare, one of Australia's most experienced senior runners, finished second. His time? 3:32.66. That means Myers beat him by almost 3 full seconds. World Indoor bronze medalist Adam Spencer was third in 3:34.23. Cameron Myers did not just win this race, he lapped the entire field in terms of speed. After crossing the line, Myers said, "To do this in front of a home crowd and the way I did it is awesome." Simple words. But what sits behind them is anything but simple. Here is some context so you understand exactly how big this is. Before this race, the all-comers record for 1500 meters on Australian soil was held by Hicham El Guerrouj. That name should ring a bell. El Guerrouj is the world record holder in the 1500 meters and the mile. He is considered by many to be the greatest middle-distance runner who ever lived. Myers broke El Guerrouj's Australian soil record just weeks earlier, running 3:30.42 on March 29, 2026. Then, 11 days later in Sydney, he broke that too. In the span of 2 weeks, Cameron Myers ran the 2 fastest times ever recorded in Australia in the 1500 meters, and he is 19 years old. Here is what makes this story almost impossible to believe. At age 10, he ran his first national cross-country race and finished 17th. He told people afterward that he hated losing so much that he committed to never letting it happen again. At 15, he dropped his 1500-meter personal best to 3:46. Most junior athletes his age were running 4:10 and dreaming of breaking 400. Myers was already 3 seconds faster than that barrier. Then came 2023, when everything changed. In February 2023, Cameron Myers was 16 years and 259 days old. He stood on the track at the Morey Plant Meet in Melbourne and ran 3:55.44 for the mile. That made him the second youngest person in history to break the 4-minute mile. The only younger person to ever do it was Jakob Ingebrigtsen. But here is the part people forget. Myers did not just match Ingebrigtsen's teenage milestone. He broke Ingebrigtsen's world record for 16-year-olds in the mile. His time was faster than Jakob's had been at the same age. Cameron Myers ran 3:33 as a 17-year-old high school student from Canberra. Now here is where the story takes a turn, because this is not a clean straight line from teenager to champion. In 2024, Myers had qualified for the Paris Olympics twice. He had the times. In March 2024, he ran 3:33.30 in Sydney and defeated 2022 world champion Jake Whiteman. That should have been enough, but when the Australian team was announced, Myers was not on it. He was left off the Olympic squad in favor of more experienced runners. He was a teenager who had done everything asked of him and still came up short of the biggest stage in sport. He went to the World Under-20 Championships in Lima, Peru instead, where he won silver in the 1500 meters, losing by just 0.09 seconds to Ethiopia's Abdissa Fayisa. He came back to Australia with a chip on his shoulder, and that is when the real work began. Remember that 3:30.42 he ran in Melbourne on March 29, 2026? That race was already historic. It was the fastest time ever run on Australian soil, breaking El Guerrouj's long-standing all-comers record. It was also the fastest 1500 meters anywhere in the world, indoors or outdoors, in 2026 at that point. Before the Sydney race even happened, Myers had already rewritten Australian history. But what he did in January and February 2026 laid the foundation for all of it. On January 17, 2026, he ran the fastest mile ever recorded in the month of January in history, clocking 3:49.81 in Seattle. On January 24th, he ran 3,000 meters indoors in 7:27.57 in Boston, making him the fourth man under 20 years old in history to break 7:28 for the distance. On February 1st, he won the Wanamaker Mile in New York. The Wanamaker Mile is one of the most prestigious indoor miles in the world. Myers won it. This part matters because it shows you exactly how far ahead of the field Myers is right now. Oliver Hoare finished second in Sydney in 3:32.66. Hoare is not a club athlete. He is an Australian national senior champion and one of the best 1,500-meter runners in the country. Adam Spencer, who won a bronze medal at the 2026 World Athletics Indoor Championships, finished third in 3:34.23. Myers beat both of them by a combined margin that would have lapped an average runner on a 400-meter track. The second-place finisher in Australia's national championship ran a time that would not have come close to matching Myers' world-leading 3:29. The gap between first and second was nearly 3 seconds. In a sport where hundredths of a second decide championships, 3 seconds is a lifetime. Here is something most people missed inside this story. Myers ran 3:29.85 in Sydney on April 10th. He is chasing himself. He is 19 years old, and the competition is himself. Every race he runs, he is not just trying to beat the field. He is trying to get faster than he has ever been, and he is doing it. The athletics world keeps comparing Myers to Jakob Ingebrigtsen. It is hard not to. Ingebrigtsen was a teenage world beater who went on to win Olympic gold in the 1,500 meters at Tokyo, Olympic gold in the 5,000 meters at Paris, and multiple world titles. He was dominant at the same age Myers is now. But here's what people are starting to say quietly. Myers' age group progression has been faster than Ingebrigtsen's was at the same stage. Myers broke Jakob's world record for 16-year-olds in the mile. He set under 18 world bests in the 1,500 meters that Jakob never hit. He has beaten senior world champions as a teenager in low-key races. And now, at 19, he is running times that put him in an entirely different league from his Australian peers. He is not tracking Ingebrigtsen's path. He is ahead of it. So let's come back to where we started. Cameron Myers just broke a record nobody thought was possible. Not possible on Australian soil, not possible in April, not possible for a 19-year-old who missed the Olympics the year before. But that is exactly what happened. In front of his home crowd in Sydney, with second place 3 seconds behind him, Myers ran 3:29.85 and became the first athlete on the planet to break 3:30 this year. He started running at a club at age 6. He hated losing at age 10. He broke world age records at 16. He was cut from the Olympics at 18. And at 19, he is the fastest man in the world this year, over 1,500 meters. This is not a flash in the pan. This is a career that is only getting started. And if this is what Cameron Myers looks like at 19, the world of middle distance running is about to see something it has never seen before.